Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Market Insight discussion titled Advanced Cooling System Management for High-Density Data Centers, Technical Excellence in Tropical Markets. My name is Kusuma, and it's a pleasure to be your host to this afternoon session. On behalf of the organizers, PT House Clarion Events, we warmly welcome to our distinguished speakers and participants join us today. Allow me to acknowledge our distinguished speakers today, Mr. Hendra Suryakusuma, the Chairman of Indonesia Data Center Provider Organization, or IDPRO. Good afternoon, Mr. Hendra.
Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum.
Mr. Suhenki, the Head of Human Resources and Research and Development of Association of Indonesian Refrigerator and Air Conditioning Practitioners, or APITU. Good afternoon, Mr. Henki.
Good afternoon.
And Professor Gunawan Wibisono, PhD, the Senior Lecturer, Department of Electrical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering of University of Indonesia. Good afternoon, Prof.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much.
And our moderator today, Mr. Wisnu Eka Lesmana, the VP Infrastructure, Data Center Development and Customer Acquisition, Technology Advisory Business of Sinar Maslen. Good afternoon, Mr. Wisnu.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And we also sincerely thank to all invited guests and industry leaders who are joining the sessions today. Today's session is part of the Data Center Indonesia DCTI-CX 2026 series, as Indonesia experiences a rapid growth in cloud adoption, AI workloads, and digital infrastructure expansion. High-density data centers are becoming increasingly critical. In a tropical environment like Indonesia, effective cooling management is not only a technical issue, and it's also a strategic decision impacting energy efficiency, operational reliability, and long-term sustainability. This interactive session will explore advanced cooling technologies, operational resilience, energy efficiency strategies, and market readiness within Indonesia's data center ecosystem. We will now proceed to the main session of DCTI 2026 series Market Insight discussion. This discussion will be led by our moderator today, Mr. Wisnu. But before it, we'll read about the short profile of Mr. Wisnu. Mr. Wisnu Eka Lesmana is the Vice President of Infrastructure, Data Center Development, and Customer Acquisition within the Technology Advisory Business at Sinar Maslen, where he leads strategic planning, business development, and expansion of digital infrastructure initiative. With nearly 25 years of experience in the data center industry, Mr. Wisnu has a strong track record in project management, business growth, and mission-critical facility delivery across Indonesia. He has held leadership roles spanning sales, operations, and project execution, contributing to major data center ventures and partnerships. And his expertise includes feasibility analysis, governance, risk mitigation, and enterprise-level client engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to invite Mr. Wisnu. To Mr. Wisnu, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mbak MC. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Market Insight discussion for title Advanced Cooling System Management for High-Density Data Centers, Technical Excellence in Tropical Market. So this session is part of the DTI 2026 series, Data Center Tech Indonesia, or DCTI-CX. My name is Vishnu, and I will be moderating today's discussion. And on behalf of the organizer, I would like to warmly welcome our distinguished speakers, Mr. Hendra Suryakusuma, the Indonesia Data Center Provider Organization, or IDPRO. Good afternoon, Mr. Hendra, and welcome.
Good afternoon, Pak Wisnu. Nice to meet you again in this event.
Okay. Next, Mr. Suhenki, Head of Human Resource and Research Development Association of Indonesia Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Practitioner, or APITU. Good afternoon, Mr. Suhenki, and welcome. Selamat datang, Pak Henki. and Professor Gunawan Wibisono, PhD, Senior Lecturer, Department of Electrical Engineering, Faculty of the Engineering, University of Indonesia. And of course, thank you to all participants joining us today for our technology principle. Before we begin, let me briefly set the context. Indonesia data center market is growing rapidly, driven by AI workloads, hyperscale expansion, and enterprise digitalization. In tropical environment like Indonesia, cooling is no longer just an engineering component. It is a strategic infrastructure decision that directly impacted to the energy efficiency, PUE, reliability, CapEx and OpEx, and long-term of scalability. So today's session is not a one-way presentation. This is an interactive market discussion. So ladies and gentlemen, all participants, we encourage to open the question for real operational experience sharing, scenario-based discussion, and for sure honest for professional insight. Ladies and gentlemen, our goal is to provide practical market understanding for both local operators and international principal evaluating of Indonesia. So now we begin our keynote session. It is my honor to invite Mr. Hendra Surya Kusuma, Chairman of the Indonesia Data Center Provider Organization. He will share insight of Indonesia position as a regional data center hub and the importance of the rising technical standard in our industry. So Mr. Hendra Surya Kusuma is a technology leader known for the contribution of Indonesia digital ecosystem. He co-founded the Indonesia Data Center Provider Organization, or as we know, IDPRO, and play as a key role in developing Indonesia data center standard. Mr. Hendra also had drug innovation in blockchain through Fase Indonesia and co-founded of the Indonesia Sharia Blockchain Association, or ABSI. So as a co-founder of Elite3, Mr. Hendra also lead the company to achieve Tier 3 certification and successfully for IPO, serving over 142 enterprise clients and monitoring more than 1,200 sites nationwide. With experience from the Silicon Valley Founder Institute, Mr. Hendra continued to be a prominent figure in advancing Indonesia. Okay. So, Mr. Hendra Surya Kusuma, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Pak Wisnu, my dear friend, Pak Wisnu. And I would like also to start with distinguished speakers, respected industry colleagues, leaders, technology partners, academics, innovations. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So it is a huge honor for me to join you today as chairman of IDPRO, Indonesia Data Center Provider Organization, and also as the co-host of DCTI-CX 2026. So I think I'm presenting the, okay, this slide, yeah. So I would like to, also to give you a background about the historical background about IDPRO. I think we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so as rightly mentioned by Pak Wisnu, I co-founded this association together with Pak Toto Sugiri, which is the founder of DCI, and Professor Kalamullah Ramli, which is the colleague of Prof. Gunawan from Department Teknik Electrical Engineering Department of University of Indonesia back in 2016. Back then, we only have 4 DC providers and managing not more than 32 megawatts of power capacity in 2016. But now we grew to around 21 members, including Microsoft, which is our last member, and managing around 420 megawatts. And then, as you might already know, that our members, companies like Digital Age, is actually planning to build 500 megawatts, and also PDG, BDX, Damak Digital. So all these members are keep on ramping up their capacity. The past 8 years, we've been working very closely with regulators, especially ComDG and Ministry of Industry, academia, technology providers, company like Schneider, Siemens, ABB, to align with our mission, with ID Pro mission, which is to ensure that we build this industry in a sustainable way, high quality, and also globally aligned with, DC infrastructure standard. So ID Pro has been consistently champion data sovereignty and sustainability especially since 2021, because we launched Indonesia Data Center White Paper document back in 2021. And in 2026, we are planning also to launch our new green data center matrix or index in this year. So as we look toward 2024, there are two pillars that take center stage in ID Pro strategic narrative. One is about the data sovereignty. So we believe data is a national asset. Building a reliable, secure, and locally hosted data center is not just a business necessity, but it's also a matter of digital independence and national resilience. And number two is about the green and energy efficient infrastructure. So sustainability is in the front and center of our activity now. It is our shared responsibility, and ID Pro actively promotes green data center and clean energy adoption in line with Indonesia's net zero emission commitment, net zero emission commitments. And I think the strategic narrative number 3 is about the local talent development. So part of it is actually ID Pro already also working collaboratively with University of Indonesia, Institut Teknologi Bandung, Politeknik Negeri Batam to make sure that the pool of talent development is happening efficiently and also effectively. So infrastructure without people is just hardware, basically. So we are investing in people, collaborating with academia and also vocational institution to develop a future-ready digital workforce that can lead on a global scale. So as you can see in these slides, these are our members. Damak is actually in the process of registering to our company. And Pak Wisnu was actually part of the One Smart Services, which is the company is called Samakta Mitra. And we currently running about 420 megawatts of power capacity in the context of, in this nation, about 500 megawatts. But this year, there will be a lot of new DC infrastructures going to be built. I think the capacity in 2027 will be almost double in this year, compared to this year. Yeah, we go to the next slide. Yeah, so there are key main drivers that growing the industry. Yeah, one is about the macroeconomic. So as you might already aware that in Indonesia we have more than 280 million people living in this country, and around 80% of them already have access to internet. So means that around 230 million use internet on a daily basis. So the amount of data being generated, processed, transferred, and also analyzed and stored is keep on increasing. And a lot of new startup company in Indonesia also riding the wave and get a lot of tractions, company like Gojek, Tokopedia, yeah. So we are actually the biggest gross merchandise value in terms of internet economic size. We are the biggest in this region. And these numbers keep on increasing year by year. So the internet traffic is also increasing very rapidly. 3 years ago, when we talked with ABG, back then the internet traffic is only 1.3 terabit per second. But just last week, it's already increased to around 14 terabit per second. So yeah, we keep on ramping up all these capacities in terms of data usage, traffic, internet traffic, yeah, and also data center. Key driver number 2 is about the regulatory framework. So a lot of regulations coming from our government is now mandating onshoring data regulations. There is this new personal data protection regulation being launched in 2024. So basically, all these cybersecurity incidents that happened in the past, hopefully we can actually mitigate more securely in the future by implementing these regulations. And BSSN also now involved in the new regulation. It's called Undang-Undang Keamanan and Ketahanan Cyber, which already being launched. And we in ID Pro, we are actively trying to also do some cybersecurity maturity awareness level to our members. And number 3 is about the digital transformation. Bear in mind that in Indonesia, not only public sectors, but also private sectors undergoing a very heavy and massive digital transformation. A lot of provinces now already implementing AI to monitor the populations, the traffic conditions, and the flood. Yeah. So the usage of AI is now also becoming the key driver number 4. But this key driver is actually accelerating in a very fast pace, basically. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so today I would like for us not only just discussing about the cooling system, but also we are discussing about the future competitiveness of Indonesia's digital economy. Because in today's world, cooling is not a facility issue, but cooling is a strategic issue. Cooling is no longer becoming only supporting components, but becoming because of high density racks, it becomes a critical components now. So cooling is a resilience issue. Cooling is a sustainability issue. And most importantly, cooling is a national competitiveness issue. So yeah, we go to the next slide. Yeah, this is quite interesting, especially the past 3 years. Data center industry in Indonesia is very exciting. So Indonesia stands at a very historic inflection point, I would say. We are witnessing hyperscale expansion. Back in 2011, when I was starting my first DC company, we just built 2.2 megawatts. Back then, it was considered a very big capacity. But now, companies like SM Plus building 60 megawatts, PDG building 100 megawatts. It sounds like, this hyperscaler is actually expanding very rapidly in Indonesia. Number 2, AI-driven computing demand also already happening now. Some of the members of ID Pro also already hosted these AI servers. And there's this rapid enterprise cloud migration happening. Government's also doing a lot of digital transformation, whether it's in Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of General Contractor. They doing a lot of digital transformation process and explosive growth in digital services. So data is growing very exponentially. Rack densities are increasing. Back in 2012, when I was starting my first company, we just actually handling not more than 2.2 kilowatts. In 2016, it grows to around 5 kilowatts. But nowadays, 18 kilowatts, 35 kilowatts are actually becoming standard. AI workloads are actually pushing beyond traditional thermal limits. And there is this reality. So in Indonesia, heat is constant. It's always humid on a yearly basis. Humidity is constant. Energy costs are strategic. Grid reliability varies. I mean, if you compare west part of Indonesia to east part of Indonesia, it's a totally different condition. This makes our challenge unique, but it also makes our opportunity quite extraordinary, especially because we have the most potential to generate the geothermal. Yeah, we go to the next one. Yeah, so basically a tropical climate doesn't tolerate inefficiency. So our challenges are unique. Yeah, so this is something that quite interesting because we also have a lot of discussion with National University of Singapore, led by Professor Lee, about all these, tropical climate challenges to operate data center. And that's the reason why we also already engaged with NUS to start developing our Green Data Center Index. And hopefully we're going to launch it this year. Next slide. Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, this AI tsunami is coming now. For years, cooling was treated as a supporting system, as I mentioned. But today in high density data centers, cooling defines power usage effectiveness, operational stability, carbon footprint, OPEX sustainability, and also long-term investment viability. So back in 2016, when we just operating 5 to 8 kilowatts, now this starting in 2024, we managing 20 kilowatts to 30 kilowatts. Even if we're talking about GB200, the Grace Blackwell server, or GB300, it will takes about 130 kilowatts to run it. So traditional air cooling assumptions no longer apply, unfortunately, and we must move forward. But how can we move forward? So number one is, of course, by try to research the advanced airflow management. That's number one. Number two is about liquid cooling integration. Number three is about rear door heat exchanger. So we have this special case in one of our data center that we are managing in Batam. Initially, the design is only for 8 kilowatts, but the customer is coming in with 35 kilowatts requirements. So one of the solution is using the rear door heat exchangers. Yeah. And in the near future, I believe a lot of companies also will try to implement direct-to-chip cooling because of this very high-density racks. Also immersion cooling for AI workloads, and also AI-based predictive thermal optimization, just to make sure that in our data hall, there is no thermal, inflection that will create issue with our operation. So the future is not about choosing one technology, I believe, because the future is about engineering intelligent hybrid ecosystems, on how can we actually, this is especially for those data centers that already being built. How can we retrofit it? It is more challenging compared to we build the data center from the greenfield, basically. So next slide. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, this is with regards to engineering the hybrid ecosystem. So how can we actually use several different technologies and combine it in one DC infrastructure? This is something that, a very hot topics that been already discussed internally in ID Pro membership. So a lot of the members are actually trying to share operational issues, challenges that we're facing, and how can we mitigate the risk to accommodate this AI workload in the future. Next slide. Yeah, so we must pursue, so to speak, tropicalization. Yeah, so cooling in Europe and North America is completely different ball game. In Indonesia, we face, urban density, also humidity constraints. So how can we adapt, innovate, and also try to build our own local standard? Thanks. Yeah, so sustainability is an investment requirement. So a lot of companies and also members of ID Pro, they have this, compliance to be able to create this net zero emission DC infrastructure in 2030. This is typically all this US-based company like Microsoft, AWS, and also Amazon. They mandated to be net zero emission in 2030. So a lot of these companies are actually try to comply with their ESG requirements. Next. Yeah, so this is, there are three strategic priorities here for us. One is about elevate national technical standards. So we must align with international best practices while developing tropical specific engineering guidelines. We got help a lot from National University of Singapore for this. Number two, next slide. Yeah, this is with regards to creating talent ecosystem and also certifications. This is already happening. The challenge is about new technologies being implemented in DC infra, requires new kind of technologies. The piping, the welding is completely different. So the challenge is about how all this high density cooling requires specialized expertise, and how can we create new experts to to provide support to the industry. So the goal is to produce certified thermal engineers for the AI era. This is already happening in our organization. Already have a lot of discussion with several different universities, and one of it is actually with University of Indonesia and some research institution, including the NUS. Yeah.
Pak Hendra,
Yeah.
I believe the time is almost finished. So can you
okay.
can you a bit summarize about the insight and review about the strategy for the next future for Indonesia?
Yeah. So let me close this presentation by so Indonesia doesn't lack demand. Indonesia doesn't lack ambition. What we must now ensure is how can we actually comply with this engineering excellence requirements, operational discipline, thermal intelligence, and also sustainable design. So if we master cooling in the tropics, we will master digital infrastructure resilience. And if we master digital infrastructure resilience, Indonesia will lead the region, not someday, but within this decade, hopefully. Thank you, Pak Wisnu. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Pak Hendra. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hendra Surya Kusuma, thank you for the insight and strategic overview.
Thank
So,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is Mr. Suhenki. We call Pak Suhenki, head of the Human Resource and Research Development, Perkumpulan or Asosiasi Praktisi Pendingin dan Tata Udara Indonesia atau APITU. I will share the technical and he will share his technical standards and the best perspective on the cooling system selection in tropical environment. So, Mr. Suhenki is a distinguished expert in refrigeration and air conditioning with over 3 decades of industry and academic experience. He currently serves as the head of HR and R&D at the IT PLN Institute, where also lectures on the refrigeration technology. Throughout this career, he has held leadership roles, including director of the several refrigeration firms and technical director of the PT Jasa Pendingin Madani, an active leader in the industry. He is affiliated with the APITU Indonesia and he is also BNSP Certified Competency Assessor. Again, Bapak Suhenki or Mr. Suhenki, please, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Wisnu. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, all respected participants. It is an opportunity. My name is Gema, representing APITU Indonesia. I am honored to deliver this presentation on behalf of Mr. Suhenki, who sends his warm regards to all participants. Today I will presenting advanced cooling system management for high-density data center technical excellence in tropical markets. Before discussing advanced cooling strategies, allow me to briefly introduce the organization I represent. Next slide, please. APITU Indonesia was officially established on 5 June 2015 and marked its 10th anniversary on 5 June 2025. The association is legally registered with the Ministry of Law and Human Rights of the Republic of Indonesia, which formally recognizes its organizational status and activities. Over the past decade, APITU has become well known among technicians, small and large enterprises, and principal companies operating in the refrigeration and air conditioning industry across the country. As of 1st July 2025, the APITU Facebook community numbered 146,166 members, reflecting broad digital engagement. In addition, approximately 12,000 active officially registered members hold formal membership card, of whom roughly 5,000 are enrolled in the organization electronic management system. Structurally, the association maintains a nationwide presence with 32 regional leadership boards, one for each province, and 132 branch leadership across Indonesia. This institutional and membership features position APITU as a central stakeholder for professional practice, training, and industry outreach in the country. HVACR, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration ecosystem. Next slide, please. Now, let me briefly highlight the member of profile of APITU Indonesia, particularly in terms of business experience within the refrigeration and air conditioning sector. The data indicates a diverse range of professional experience among members. A significant proportion, approximately 29.9% 0.7% have been operating in the industry for 6 to 10 years, representing the largest group. This is followed by 25.5% of members with 11 and 15 years of experience, and 17% with 16 and 20 years of professional engagement, and more. Overall, this distribution demonstrates that Aperture Indonesia comprises a balanced mix of emerging professionals and seasoned practitioners. Such diversity is particularly valuable in advancing knowledge and has technical mentoring and the adoption of advanced cooling technologies, especially in rapidly evolving sectors such as high density data center infrastructure. Next slide, please. Here is the outline of the business scope of Apitu Indonesia members. First, in the area of residential refrigeration, members are engaged in the installation, maintenance, and more other household cooling appliances. This segment represents the foundation of the refrigeration and air conditioning sector, serving domestic energy needs across Indonesia. Second, within commercial refrigeration, the scope expands significantly. Members handle cassette air conditioner, standing floor unit, and more. In addition, they manage panel air conditioning units, ice maker, upright chiller and freezer, and more. Further, commercial application include under-counter refrigerator, bottle cooler, salad cooler, and more. This demonstrates strong technical capability in environment requiring temperature, stability, and operational reliability. Third, in the domain of industrial refrigeration, members are involving in large-scale cooling infrastructure such as cold storage facilities, ice plant, water chillers, air dryers, and air blast freezers. Their expertise also extends to centralized air conditioning system, skating, and more. Overall, this comprehensive business scope illustrates that Aperture Indonesia members operate across the full refrigeration value chain, from household system to mission-critical and industrial-grade cooling infrastructure. Next slide, please. Okay, after introducing Aperture Indonesia, I will move on to discuss advanced cooling system and position our study within the broader operational trends shaping data center design and management. The rapid growth of digital services driven by cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and advanced data analytics has produced a sustained increase in demand for computing resource. This demand is accompanied by a marked rise in power density at the rack level, which in turn places significantly greater stress on cooling system. In tropical climates, this pressure are compound, elevate ambient temperatures, and persistently high humidity create a more challenging thermal environment, increasing the difficulty of maintaining safe operation this condition and reducing energy consumption. Consequently, conventional cooling strategies that perform adequately in temperature zones often prove insufficient in tropical markets. This slide summarizes the principal trends. First, rapid increase in demand for computing resources and digital services. driving higher utilization and denser equipment deployment. And second, rising power density per separate. And then operational challenges specific to tropical climates, including the elevated ambient temperatures and high humidity that degrade cooling performance and equipment reliability, and the imperative to improve energy efficiency and operational resilience. Next slide, please. High density facilities are generally characterized by power densities exceeding 20 kilowatts per rack. Such level represent a substantial increase compared to conventional data center configuration and are largely driven by artificial intelligence workload, hyperscaling computing, and advanced data processing application. This elevated power density results in highly concentrated and localized heat loads rather than being distributed evenly throughout the facility. Thermal output is often clustered within specific racks and zones. Consequently, thermal hotspot may develop rapidly if cooling strategies are not precisely engineered and dynamically managed. Moreover, high density environment exhibit strong sensitivity to temperature fluctuation. Even minor deviation from recommended operating range can compromise equipment performance, reduce hardware lifespan, and increase the risk. Next slide, please. Impact of suboptimal cooling. First, overheating of equipment. And second, reduce server performance, increased risk of downtime, higher energy consumption, and elevated operational costs. Next slide, please. Fundamental principle of thermal management that form the foundation of effective cooling strategies for high density data centers. First, maintain stable temperature, set point that comply with equipment manufacturers specification, and second, humidity control, regulated relative humidity, and third, airflow management, efficient heat transfer, and continuous monitoring. Next slide, please. Next, hot aisle and cold aisle concept. Widely adopted approach to optimize air distribution in data centers, separation of hot and cold aisle, exhaust, and supply air by arranging rack fronts to face cold aisle and rack raise toward hot aisle. Operators establish predictable pathway for air movement and thermal loads, and second, prevent mixing of air streams, and then improve air distribution efficiency and reduce cooling system load. Next slide, please. The hot aisle containment. This approach encloses to the hot exhaust so that heat return air is captured and directly back to the cooling plant by isolating hot air, and then cold aisle containment. encloses the condition supply I and principal benefits. Containment yields more consistent inlet temperature stability, energy efficiency, and increased cooling capacity.
Mbak Gemma, sorry to interrupting that you
Yeah.
still have only 1 more minute. Could you like to give directly this to summarize this presentation? Thank you.
Oh yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Modern high-density data centers increasingly rely on monitoring and automation. Sorry.
Okay, Mbak Gemma, sorry to interrupting again. So could you please give the conclusion
yeah.
on recommendation since
Okay.
the time is over? Thank you.
Okay. In conclusion, advanced cooling management is no longer an optional enhancement, but a strategic necessity for modern high-density data center operation, particularly in tropical regions where environmental conditions intensify thermal challenges. As computing demand continue to grow, driven by cloud services, artificial intelligence, and large-scale data analytics, conventional cooling approaches are increasingly insufficient. High-density deployment require more precise, adaptive, and energy-efficient thermal management strategies to ensure long-term operational reliability. Based on the insight present, several conclusion. First, several key recommendations can be outlined. First, organizations should integrate modern cooling technologies, and then adoption of data-driven monitoring and intelligent automation is essential. Real-time sensing, predictive analytics, and more. And then cooling architectures must be implement to the specific challenges of tropical climates, climate aware that address energy and efficiency and sustainability. Thank you for your kind attention. I hope this presentation has provided useful insight into advanced
Okay.
cooling strategies. At this
All right.
point, I would like to hand the session back to the moderator. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Gemma. She is representing Pak Sohengki to for technical insight for this session. So next we invite Professor Gunawan Wibisono, PhD, Senior Lecturer Department of the Electrical Engineering, Faculty of the Engineering University of Indonesia. He will share operational experience in managing cooling efficiency under high ambient temperatures and energy constraints. So Professor Gunawan Wibisono, PhD, is a telecommunication expert and senior academic at the Faculty of the Engineering University of Indonesia. He obtained his bachelor degree in electrical engineering from University of Indonesia and complete his master degree in electrical engineering at Keio University, Japan. So his expertise covers wireless communication systems, radio technology, network infrastructure, and telecommunication regulation. With extensive research in communication networks and digital infrastructure, including data center infrastructure that require reliable power thermal management, and operational sustainability to support high-density digital environment. So, Professor Gunawan Wibisono, the time is yours. Silakan, Prof.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I want to present my presentation on cam because of maybe problem of internet connection. Sorry. Okay. Next. Okay. My presentation is concern perspective of data center based on the driven factor and some opportunity and challenge implementation a data center in Indonesia. Next, please. As introduction, government already already designed implementation data center. I put this information from ComDG that first government already decided that data center has become heart of this digital economic transformation, while support another part like access and backbone is as the supporting parameter. Next, next please. And this also the government plan roadmap infrastructure digital, including one kind of roadmap is about roadmap of infrastructure data center. Government will optimize existing data center, especially for support data operation from the government part, and some part of this data center will be also can be used by the private sector, and then expand new data center facilities in some province in Indonesia. Next, please. And this is a plan of data center allocation in Indonesia by the government. Yeah, why government divided the data center into part of island, because government think that some facilities for the data to support data center is not same for all Indonesia. For example, in Java, there are good internet connection, enough electricity, electricity power, and good enough skill labor also for operate the data center. While in another side of Indonesia, maybe the big problem is about internet connection and electricity power. And next, so the market potential and the need of a demand of a data center in Indonesia. This is because of the rising of infrastructure digital need, and also the is increasing capacity of data center because of increasing AI implementation. All business business institution implement AI to support their business, and then government hope in the future to become a market leader in data center. for the next or in the future. Thank you. Next, please. And then I will explain about vector to the driving factor of the need data center. First, let's next is about this is a disruptive technology and industry 4.0. Next, please. Especially in COVID era, everybody has changed the business model from conventional model to become disruptive innovation. When COVID era, the business is still live or still going on because of supporting facility from internet connection and some application, e-commerce application. So everybody can still continue their business even the COVID is still highest epidemic. For example, Gojek become startup and many startup company growth during COVID era. Because of disruptive innovation, uh, everybody uh, can get benefit. They can order maybe the food or medicine or some services. Even they can come into the apotheke or into the hospital or to the merchant to get these services. And next, and this is some application which everybody knows, everybody existing also extensively use to support or to facilitate his life activity. For example, Gojek and Hello Doctor and so on, so on. By this facility, by this implement application, e-commerce application, everybody can order many things from outside, and then this application can be support also by the using of fintech finance and technology, where the customer can pay the order without cash. They can transfer the money throughout the internet facility, so called with all use e-banking and so on, so on. Next, please. The other one is another driving factor is about Internet of Things. And the next, this is a opportunity, the business prospect of the implementation Internet of Things. Internet of Things, I mean here, the facility activity or all process, business process can be support or can be done by machine without any touch from the human or from the user. The company or the any company can be run without uh, any stop, followed by implementation like robotic, and also can be implemented by using AI to support this activity. The opportunities in this case, we can see that the number of equipment can be installed by Internet of Things is it is predict in next 2020 in last year it is about 100 billion connected devices implement in the world. Okay, next please. So this is the value of industrial internet is very very big, and there are many industry it can that can uh, give many benefit of the implementation of Internet of Things for the aviation, yeah, transportation, power, healthcare, railway, oil and gas. This is many industry has had big opportunity to get big uh, big gain for the implementation of this business. For example, by using healthcare, everybody know can connect the doctor without visit the doctor into the clinic or into the hospital. They can ask using using his phone and using the camera can be discussion uh, directly or to direction and get the suggestion and get any receipt from the doctor to my health, and also we can ask without ask directly using communication in in aviation. Yeah, last week my experience in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, in Kuala Lumpur for the bag, yeah, for bag tagging. No need to ask to the front desk to process my ticket and my bags. This is directly using uh, automation and application. So this industry, by implementation IoT, uh, it make easy for the user.
Professor
Okay,
Gunawan,
next please. Yeah,
I believe that you still have many slides that you would like to share
yeah.
to us
Okay,
and to
okay, I will please.
participants,
Okay,
but you still have 2 minutes, 2 more minutes.
okay,
Could you
next.
please to sum
Okay,
it up?
so
All right.
okay,
Thank you.
okay, thanks. Next, please. Yeah, I will skip my presentation. Please, next. The trend of the communication. Yeah, the trends of the communication is there are three big operator that can produce big data. This is Telkomsel. They as big company that cover about 157 million user. XL is about 94 million, while Indosat 100 million user. And then next one. Okay, I think so. Please next, please. Okay, please. Okay, okay, next, please, and please. I will spend time. Okay, please. After and then the opportunity business for the uh, data centers about big data. So next, please. Next, please. Okay, next, please. Next slide, please. Okay, this is yeah, this is a big data. It's been that every day, every time in our life, we got many data coming from many uh, other source pro. Okay, so this is the opportunity. A big data will be produced by many company and then need data center to operate, and not only to operate but also to save on through a process and others. Okay, next please. And the other one is about cloud computing. This is uh, give uh, advantage for the user or for the company. They can operate a business without have uh, especially ICT equipment. They can share or they can uh, borrow from the cloud computing company to running the uh, storage, server, or platform, and so on. Okay, next please. Okay, next please. Okay, next please. Okay. There are three types of services in cloud computing. Next, please. Software as application. You can share or you can borrow the server and platform. And next, please. Okay, infrastructure as services. And yeah, by implement cloud computing, you can run the business without you have its own ICT equipment. Next, next, please. Next, next slide, please. Next slide, please. This is challenge of uh, the previous presenter already mentioned also some challenge in implementation of data center in Indonesia. First is about power infrastructure limitation. Maybe in Java is reliability to run the data center, but how about condition in outside of Java? Next then, next big one and latency issue. And
So,
also this is a big challenge. It's about tropical climate and cooling challenge. And next is
Professor, I
okay.
believe the time is over. So could
Okay, thank
you
you.
directly to give the summary of this presentation? So I will get through to the next session after this. Thank you.
Okay, as a conclusion, uh, the data center can support the business in Indonesia, especially for the implementation AI, cloud computing, telecommunication company, and many company. And by implementation, data center, the business entities, the business entity can operate its business without have any ICT equipment, and the implementation uh, modern cooling management system, the data center quality can be improved. Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Professor Gunawan, for your insight and practical field perspective. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we move into the most important part of today's session, the interactive market insight discussion. This will be where we want to active and participant. And lucky us, we have one participant. So, could you please Pak Eric Cahyanta would like to willing to on your camera and raise the question directly to the speakers so you can come into the live session today. Host, can you help us to put Pak Eric Cahyanta on cam. All right.
Hello.
Pak Eric, the time
Good
is
afternoon.
yours. Good
How
afternoon.
are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Yes,
We
okay.
can hear you, Pak.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Sure, we can hear
Okay.
you. We can
Excellent.
hear you.
Thank you. Very insightful presentation for all panelists. This is great. So, just a little bit share about my background. So, I work for Rikulit. We are focusing on enabling. We do sustainable cooling enabler. So it's interesting when Pak Hendra said that. Yeah, one of the ways to do some decarbonization or sustainable approaches by doing retrofitting. So I was wondering, so far with that approach, what would you do with the existing refrigerant? I mean, like if we just dispose it to the air, it's like, yes, we're solving one problem, but we are creating another problem. So just wondering about that, because what we do in Rikulit is basically we recover refrigerant. So all the used refrigerant that supposed to be normally impractical, people just release to the air, we recover them, we take them, and we destroy them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Eric. Pak Eric, yeah, thank you for the question. So this question should be directly to Pak Hendra, which is Pak Eric say a question about the refrigerant system and the impact to the cooling system and modern cooling in Indonesia. So Pak Hendra, would you please to answer this question?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pak Eric. Good to see you again. Yeah, I now remember we met before, right? So yeah, this is very hot topics or so already being discussed in ID Pro members. So the practical reality in Indonesia with so many DC providers under ID Pro, in most cases, so the existing air system are phased out gradually because some of our existing data center are actually now also implementing new liquid cooling solutions. But there is this specific regulation about the refrigerants. How can we recover and reclaim? So I believe company like Recolit will have a lot of business in the future because of this. And the new builds AI for AI cluster may adopt liquid cooling because of the high density per racks. So the traditional air system may remain for legacy loads, 5 kilowatts below, but there will be a transition for AI workload. So there will be a hybrid ecosystem that going to be incrementally will be implemented in so many data centers. So for the short answer, I think, yeah, the refrigerants are, because of the regulation, we have to be professionally recovered, reclaimed, and also destroyed. This is under specific environmental regulation that will be under Departemen KLH, if I'm not mistaken, Ministry of Lingkungan Hidup, right? And it's supposedly professionally recovered, yeah. So, but some of the members of ID Pro, they did mention that they just throw it away. So this is something that we need to discuss in the future for sustainability. So depending on the retrofit design, refrigerant use may be reduced significantly or eliminated. If the new system uses warm water liquid cooling with dry heat rejection, I think that also something that could potentially be implemented. So yeah, as I mentioned to you, Pak Cahyadi, there will be a lot of data center that will use your company's support and service actually in the future.
Great, great. I mean, it's just good for me to hear that this is part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So I mean, the solution is not just changing, but it's solving your problem, but we don't want to add more emission, right, to the air.
Yeah.
To the atmosphere. Thank you, Pak Hendra, for your answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pak Eric.
Okay, thank you, Pak Hendra, for the insight of the answer of this question from Pak Eric. So I believe this is more quite, one side is talking about the impact for the refrigeration, and the other side talking about the how to efficient and affect investment and something like that. So While waiting the next participant that willing to raise the question and on camera, so we haven't got the participant right now. So I will consider to raise the one question with probably continue to this conversation from Pak Hendra and Pak Eric. So this question is should be going to might be Professor, yeah. Professor Gunawan would like to help us to how does grid reliability influence cooling system decision? So I believe this one will continue to the power between power and the cooling system. I mean, time is yours, Professor Gunawan. Thank you. Professor, your voice is we can hear your voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
just unmute.
Sure.
For the conventional DC cooling system in DC is usually they are only using refrigerator. They are coming. It means that the cooling system coming from the upside, while the heat outcome from the computer is going also the outside. So this is any contraction. Can I answer in bahasa? Sorry, Pak. Okay, can I
Yeah,
answer in
can.
bahasa? Yeah, okay.
Can, Prof.
Yeah.
Can. No
Yeah.
problem.
Oke. Pada sistem pendinginan di konvensional data center, di mana dia menerapkan AC dan sebagai sumber pendinginan dan X-house untuk daripada panas yang dihasilkan oleh komputer. Kemudian perkembangan berikutnya adalah mencoba sistem pendinginan itu digabungkan dengan komputer data center. Bisa menggunakan model iShield, yaitu dia ditaruh di bagian bawah, kemudian panasnya ditarik di atas, gitu ya. Jadi sehingga panas daripada komputer itu bisa di sistem konvensional. Kemudian yang cooling system, di mana ini hanya akan bisa digunakan untuk sistem data center yang lebih modern, karena dia cooling system itu sudah embedded di dalam rack data centernya. Jadi akan sangat mempercepat daripada penyerapan panas yang terjadi di dalam komputer itu sendiri. Dan letaknya lebih dekat dengan komputer. Jadi, sorry pertanyaannya apa, Pak Hendra? Sorry Pak, ini pertanyaan Pak itu. Halo? Halo Pak? Apakah terdengar suara saya? Halo?
Terdengar, Prof.
Ya, tadi maaf, pertanyaan yang ingin, yang ini apa, lebih concern fokusnya pertanyaannya. Bagaimana? Sorry, bisa dibantu? Pak Wisnu pertanyaannya? Saya kurang.
Whether the mic is on mute or no?
Okay, hello?
Okay.
Hello?
We can hear you, Professor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Already
You would
on?
like to continue? Okay.
Okay,
Would like to continue?
Okay, please. I want to mention about the question. I'm not understand about the question. Pertanyaannya
Okay.
Pak?
Okay. pertanyaannya adalah kalau I'm trying to speak in bahasa, are liquid immersed as how does grid reliability? Jadi mungkin ini relate-nya ke power, Pak. Apakah power atau grid ketahanan grid yang sudah ada di Indonesia, reliability influence cooling system decision akan mempengaruhi kebutuhan untuk menentukan cooling systemnya mau seperti apa? Karena saya yakin power dan cooling itu akan mungkin bersinggungan ya, Prof ya. Silakan, Prof.
Oke. Bahwa tadi data center itu membutuhkan membutuhkan energi atau power untuk running daripada komputernya atau datanya atau senternya itu sendiri. Sedangkan dari komputer itu menimbulkan panas ketika dalam operasinya. Sebenarnya kalau komputer itu bisa menekan daripada pengeluaran panas ya dengan menaruh pendingin di dalam prosesor itu sendiri, maka panas yang didisipasikan keluar itu sangat kecil, sehingga kebutuhan daripada cooling system juga makin kurang. Jadi itu. Jadi kebutuhan ada persyaratan tertentu besarnya kebutuhan daya daripada cooling system terhadap kebutuhan daripada power untuk komputer. Pada prinsipnya hampir 50% daya yang digunakan untuk sebuah data center itu digunakan untuk running cooling system. Sehingga ke depan harusnya cooling systemnya itu dikurangi, lebih banyak digunakan untuk data set, untuk operasi dari komputer sendiri. Itu Pak, kira-kira pendapat saya. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for the insight answer. So I believe the wrap up of the answer from the professor should be 15, almost 50% of the cooling system in data center should be for the cooling system area. Okay, let me check whether we have participants who would like to join on this session. Okay, while waiting the participant to join the session, so we'll have another question, which is the question is for Pak Hengki. Maybe Pak Hengki, I will trying to raise the question in Bahasa as well. So, are liquid immersion cooling solution realistic scalable in Indonesia today? Jadi pertanyaannya Pak Hengki, kalau boleh izin Bapak Ibu semua, ladies and gentlemen, I would like using both language bahasa in English. Apakah liquid on immersion cooling solusi di Indonesia, apakah itu realistik sekarang Pak? Kira-kira seperti itu. Jadi mohon bisa dijawab sejelas mungkin, sesimpel mungkin. Kira-kira seperti itu. Pak Hengki, waktu silahkan. Pak Hengki, maybe you still on mute. Could you check the mic and audio system, please? Okay, I believe Pak Suhengki has experienced problem in communication or audio system. Can somebody host to help Pak Hengki to recheck again?
Gak kedengeran suaranya.
Oke, Pak Hengki. Go ahead, Pak. Dengar, Pak. Go ahead, Pak.
Halo,
silakan.
Jadi kalau saya ini Pak ya, kalau pakai liquid itu sebenarnya kan sistem pendingin itu ada beberapa. Ada yang namanya direct, ada yang namanya kayak water chiller, atau ada yang namanya brand chiller gitu Pak ya. Kalau pengertiannya liquid brand chiller, berarti kan sistem pendingin itu ada dua tingkat nanti Pak. Ada tingkat pertama dan tingkat kedua. di mana refrigeran mendinginkan liquid, kemudian liquid akan mendinginkan server. Tetapi dalam kenyataannya yang ditemukan teman-teman kami saat ini di API Indonesia itu, yang paling banyak data center itu atau AC panel itu atau server itu menggunakan air conditioning yang biasa. Nah, tetapi kelebihannya kalau data center itu kan tidak hanya sebatas temperatur saja. Misal temperaturnya dibatas dari 18 derajat sampai 27 derajat Celcius. Kemudian itu kan yang dipentingkan juga adalah kelembapan atau humidity. Humidity-nya harus dipertahankan di antara 40 sampai 60%. Kami sebagai anggota APITU, asosiasi pendingin ini yang bergerak bidang ini, untuk melaksanakan itu sudah terbiasa. Tetapi kebanyakan data center masih menggunakan yang seperti yang saya sampaikan tadi. Sampai saat ini masih seperti itu. Untuk peningkatan efisiensi misalkan, sekarang kan banyak penelitian dilakukan. Dan juga untuk pengguna refrigeran misalkan, sekarang kan sudah menggunakan R32. R32 itu di mana dia akan dapat menghemat energi, dan kemudian juga dari kementerian kan semuanya dibesarkan R32 sekarang. Jadi artinya prinsipal sekarang pembuat air conditioning itu menggunakan R32. Kemudian sudah juga menggunakan IoT dan sebagainya. Jadi sebenarnya efisiensinya sudah bisa didapat, tetapi untuk selanjutnya tentu akan dicarikan refrigeran yang akan semakin ramah lingkungan. Karena R32 kemungkinan nanti juga akan tidak dipakai, karena ada amandemen Kigali menyatakan bahwa kemungkinan R32 juga akan ditinggalkan. Demikian Pak Wisnu.
Kita dapat poinnya Pak Hengki. So we got the point from Mr. Soheng. So I believe that the liquid or immersion cooling solution is realistically scalable in Indonesia today, since the AI workload demand is already entering to Indonesia and also hyperscale and something like that. So I believe the correlation between liquid cooling and the solution of the cooling system is quite realistic. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is getting warmer and hotter. So, we have one more question from Ibu Shirley Putri. So, Ibu Shirley, would you willing to switch on the camera and directly, raise the question to the speaker? Thank you. Tim maybe can help to speed up and expedite Ibu Shirley to switch on the camera. Oh, okay. Okay, then unfortunately Ibu Shirley would like not to open the camera. Okay, and then maybe I have one more question. Maybe this is the last question to speakers. So this is general question will be addressed to maybe to Pahendra, if okay. So what do operator prioritize more, whether capex, opex, or resilience? I believe this one is something meaningful, small question, but this is meaningful for us to do not only the technical, but we doing also the business strategy and something like that. Okay, Pahendra, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, that's a $1 million question. So I think the question will be somewhere along this line. What are the most critical consideration when aligning this advanced cooling technologies with local power availability and also the cost of energy, the cost of electricity, Pak Wisnu, yeah. So most of the ID Pro members are actually have these three priorities, three considerations. One is about the total energy profile. So how our DC infrastructure system, performs at partial load, peak hours, and also seasonal condition. That's something that we really consider. Number two is about the grid reliability and also power quality. So when voltage stability or outage risk is a factor, you design for write-through or stage restart and robust controls. Number three is about the life cycle of economics, the capex versus opex. So which one is the best? Whether we try to lower down the capex, because based on Turner and Townsend data, in Indonesia, based on their research, to build 1 megawatt of tier 3 data center will require around 10 to 11 million US dollar. per 1 megawatt. So if we were to build 100 megawatts, it's already $1 billion US. So there will be a trade-offs in terms of OPEX, yeah, because we also try to lower down the OPEX. So I think this is something that we have to comprehensively look from different angles. We should evaluate cooling options using whole facility KPIs. Currently, we are really focusing in the power utilization effectiveness, but in the near future, I believe we will be also discussing about the water utilization effectiveness, maintainability, and rather than selecting technology on brochure efficiency alone. So there are a lot of discussion with ID Pro members about how can we actually try to accommodate all this new workload, not only the CPU but also GPU, while still maintaining our efficiency and sustainability in the future. Thank you.
Okay.
Hope that answered.
Okay. Thank you. I think this quite answered this $1 billion question. So while waiting the next participant to raise the question, so give us the moment to check the message from the host whether we have already the question or no. So just to remind again that at this point, we'd like to open the floor for the question from the all participants. Oh, lucky we have one participant to willing open the camera and raise directly question. So Bapak silakan langsung di open question or directly to open the question. Go ahead. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Pak Wisnu and the DCTI team for this very good discussion regarding data center cooling and system environment. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Khalif. I'm part of Mustika Memadata, a renowned system integrator within the data center environment. I would like to ask maybe to the panelists, especially Pak Hendra, regarding I'm very intrigued about immersion cooling and AI integration within the data center infrastructure and environment, Pak. Maybe I would like to ask your opinion, maybe with this AI bubble and many AI integration in the manufacturing or all around the world, do you see AI as an operator or a management of data center facility and also integrate AI to coolings in data center, Pak? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Halif. I believe Pak Hendra also noticed the question. So, without any further argue, Pak Hendra, would you like to answer this question directly? Can you check whether the
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Pak Khalif, and thank you also Pak Wisnu. Regards to Pak Wondo from Mustika Memadata, ya, Pak Khalif. So I believe because a lot of data centers, DC providers, member of ID Pro already have their existing facility, which is built maybe 5 to 8 years back. There will be some kind of hybrid transition. So this is driven by workload, yeah. As mentioned to you, in our case in Batam, in our data center that we are managing, air cooling won't disappear, I believe, because a lot of companies are still heavily relying on using CPU servers to manage their applications, which is not AI related, yeah. So especially for enterprise, for big banks, yeah, and also companies that using the general compute, this is going to be still, they're still operating with the CPU server. But for the AI clusters, which will drive more density, we need to think about new technology. So in our case, in Batam, we are actually implementing the rear door heat exchanger and in-row enhancement. So this is least disruptive way of handling all these new density per rack requirements, yeah. And number two is, of course, a lot of companies now really focusing in the direct to chip liquid cooling. This is for serious AI or high performance compute density. And for immersion, I think it's still in the experimental level up till now, because if you think about the use of storage, you have to use the solid state drive. You cannot use the spindle drive, yeah, to do the immersion cooling. And also, I think the biggest barrier now is not the technology, but also the operational readiness. Whether our engineering team in the operational and management team in data center, they have the right skill, the right spare parts, the right maintenance model, yeah. And there will be a lot of changes in terms of SOP, MOP, or also EOP. So yeah, Indonesia is moved very quickly now, where hyperscalers and AI demand, create urgency, and it's already happening now. GB200 and GB300 already landed in Indonesia, and we must be ready for the future operation of our DC. Yeah. Hope that answers, yeah, Pak Khalif.
Okay, Pak Khalid. Is
Thank
that
you, Pak Hendra.
Okay, is Pak
Thank you so
Hendra
much.
answer is represent your question or answer your
Yes,
question?
yes, thank
Okay,
you, Pak Hendra and all the panelists. It's a very insightful answer and a very insightful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak
okay.
Khalif.
Thank you so much, Pak Khalid, Pak Hendra. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we entering the final moment that I expect we have one more question to raise to the speaker or all speaker. So the speaker, lucky us, we have one more question from Pak Edi Rusli. Okay, Pak Edi Rusli, would you like to switch to turn on the camera and question or raise the question to the speakers? Team, the host team, could you please to have Pak Edi to switch on the camera? Okay, we have Pak Edi here. All right, Pak Edi, you can hear us, Pak?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so time is short to raise the question to the all speaker. Thank you, Pak Edi. Go ahead.
Thank you, Pak Wisnu. Congratulations to all speakers. It was very insightful presentations. We did learn a lot about the materials. Let me introduce myself. First, my name is Eddie Rusli from Optimex. We specialize in CAE simulation for data centers. We are also partnering with EcoSense, who is the market leader for AI-based capacity planning, cooling optimizations, and power and thermal management. And this question is rather for Pak Hendra. I think Pak Hendra may recognize me. We have met a couple of times, but I do still hope he still remembers me. Anyway, Pak Hendra, we're seeing a structural shift from design-based efficiency assumptions toward real-time operational performance as AI workloads, as we know that you have mentioned as well, and other speakers too, push rack densities into entirely new thermal regimes. And in tropical environments like Indonesia, as we know, the humidity levels are pretty high, can get to 80 to 100% on normal or specific days. So static benchmarks may not capture fully how facilities behave across varying load profiles, humidity levels, and grid carbon density. Now the question is, as rack densities approach AI era thresholds, they can get up to 80 or maybe 120, 200 kilowatts. Will the green data center metrics incorporate dynamic performance metrics? For example, rack level thermal compliance, cooling system part load efficiency, which I think is very important, and real-time carbon intensity tracking, and integrated ESG reporting to reflect actual operational behavior under tropical conditions. Thank you.
Okay, Pak Hendra, can you directly answer or maybe have your point of view from your perspective from
Yeah.
the Pak Edi question? Go ahead.
Uh,
Thank you, Pak.
thank you so much, Pak Edi. Good to see you again here.
Thank you,
And
Pak.
yeah, I think we had this conversation about the cooling design in data center nowadays is about resilience architecture decision, yeah, from the very beginning. Unlike the previous days where we just focusing more on the electrical. So in the tropics where the heat are constant, the high humidity is constant, uh, we it means that the margin of error is smaller. So a good enough design is no longer become a good enough design becomes a reliability risk over time, yeah, in tropical countries like Indonesia. So the best design protect uptime by doing at least these three things. Yeah, one is about the stable environmental control. This is with regards to stabilize the temperature and also the humidity. This is to prevent hotspots, corrosion, and also condensation risk. Number two is about the fault tolerant capacity, not just N+1 equipment. Bear in mind that we're going to implement like something like liquid cooling solutions. So we have to think about the pipings, think about the water loops, the control panels, and also the power pads. Yeah, it becomes more complex in the future. And also, this is comes to your solution actually, Optimax, yeah, because EcoSense providing the operational predictability, not only through sensors but also integrated it with controls and maintenance, yeah, access. So when density rise, which already happening now, the difference between cooling as support and cooling as mission critical, as I mentioned in my presentation, is the difference between planned operation and cascading incidents. So yeah, cooling design is very important now. To your question, are we going to also embed this ESG report in our data center, sustainable data center metrics? There will be a follow-up discussion about it because bear in mind that for us to be able to comply with the strata 4 or strata 3 based on SNI pusat data is quite challenging, let alone if we have to comply with the ESG reports and also the complexity of making sure that all the carbon footprints that we generate is being calculated in the real time. So I think for this year, what we're going to launch is more on the surface level yet. That's the reason why we call it Matrix, Indonesia Sustainable Data Center Matrix. But gradually we will try to convert it into Indonesia Data Center Sustainable Standard. So we are very open, Pak Edi. If your company would like to support this initiative, we'll be more than happy to accept your support. Yeah.
Absolutely, Pak.
Hope that answer ya, Pak Edi. Yeah.
Thank you, Pak. Yeah, we certainly can continue for a bit longer, and that warrant further discussion, possibly offline. Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for the answer, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much, Pak Edi.
Okay, thank you, Pak Edi and Pak Hendra.
Thank
I
you.
believe this question will be converted directly to the opportunity to Pak Edi with Pak Hendra, yeah. So with this session of DCTI-CX 2026, again that we believe also that many participants that would like to raise the question to the all of our speakers. So that's why we waiting all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to all participants to join DCTI-CX in 2026 in this August. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen, speaker and all participants. So before we close, let me summarize the three takeaways from the today discussion. The first one is cooling strategy in Indonesia is much aligned with the energy reality and grid condition. And the second one is efficiency must be balanced with the reliability and long-term scalability, I believe. So the third one is market entry requires strong local technical validation and operational support. So again, thank you very much to Mr. Hendra, Bapak Hendra Surya Kusuma,
Thank you so much.
Bapak Suhengki, and Professor Gunawan Wibisono, PhD, and all participants joining us today. We hope today's discussion and provides meaningful insight from our business and technical planning in Indonesia. So see you again in DCTI-CX 2026 in August. Have a great afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. See you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
So
much.
back to host and team to taking over this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wisnu, for leading such a dynamic and insightful discussion this afternoon. Now we would like to invite to all our speakers to stay on the cameras for a virtual group photo. We would now like to precision the position for Mr. Suhenki to be centered to the camera, please. Okay. Okay, for the group photo is now ready. And don't forget to give a smile to the camera also for the virtual group photo. On my count in 3, 2, 1. And once again in 3, 2, 1. Once again in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of today's Market Insight discussion. Although we met virtually today, we hope today's session has opened a new perspective, meaningful connection, and potential collaboration opportunities within Indonesia's growing data center market. On behalf of the organizers, we sincerely thank to all speakers and participants for your valuable times and contribution today. We look forward to welcoming you at the Data Center Tech Indonesia DCTI-CX 2026 on 5th and 6th August 2026 at the Jakarta International Convention Center, Senayan. Thank you once again for your participation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a pleasant afternoon.